Hey, what's going on, guys? So Michael Beale is set to leave his role as Aston Villa assistant manager and become QPR's head coach. Now, I expected this to be headline news, but only caught a glimpse of one article at the bottom of Sky Sports' football section. That just goes to show you how little awareness the media have, because this man is very much the architect of Gerrard's managerial success till date. If you listen to Gerrard's interview on the Robbie Fowler podcast, he openly admits that coaching is something he's severely lacking in comparison to guys like Brendan Rodgers and Jose Mourinho, who've had 2 decades of pitch time experience behind them, whereas Gerrard was obviously preoccupied with his own career as a player. Gerrard further stated that he would never try to do someone else's job when they are better than him at it, and that it would take him 15 to 20 years to catch up with Beale, so it's best to let him get on with things as he's the expert. With this in mind, Beale and Stevie G formed a duo whereby the former would do the bulk of coaching and tactical work, with the latter focusing on the man management side of things, such as dressing room politics and media work. Jermaine Defoe, who worked under the two of them at Rangers, recently confirmed this point on the Beautiful Game podcast when he said, "Beale has impressed me massively. In terms of tactics, he's right up there with anyone. His attention to detail and how he puts his points across for people to understand is absolutely brilliant." Now, this coming from a former England international who spent 20 years playing at the top level is a huge compliment. Kyle Lafferty shared a similar sentiment. He stated, "The longer I was at Rangers, I started to realize Michael Beale is the man behind it all. No disrespect to Steven Gerrard, but Michael Beale is the brains behind the operation. I think he could step up to be a manager because he's that good," which is exactly what he's about to do right now. Now, here's a little bit of background information about him for those of you who aren't really aware of his career so far. He was an aspiring footballer who got released by Charlton Athletic and had trials at clubs like FC Twente in the Eredivisie before eventually calling an end to his playing days at the young age of 21. He set up a futsal school for children in Bromley with the money he made as a youth player, which is where he caught the attention of Chelsea Academy boss Neil Bath, who offered him a role as a part-time youth coach at Cobham, where he worked with future Premier League footballers from under-7s up to under-14s level, like Tammy Abraham, Reece James, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Mason Mount, who he's still close mates with today. Growing frustrated at the lack of opportunities for talented young players coming through at Stamford Bridge at the time, which would be around 2014 under Jose Mourinho, when even the likes of Salah and Kevin De Bruyne were getting sold, Beale took up an offer and a sizable pay cut to join Liverpool's academy, where he coached Liverpool's under-16s for 2 seasons before spending 4 years with their under-23s. Many within the game believe he played a key role in creating a pathway for Trent Alexander-Arnold and Curtis Jones to rise to the first team. Jamie Carragher says, "I knew straight away he was going to be a top coach." This stint also happens to be where he first met Steven Gerrard, who at the time was managing Liverpool's under-18s. The other coaches he worked with at Merseyside were Pep Guardiola's current assistant Rodolfo Borrell, as well as Steve Cooper, who brought Nottingham Forest back to the Premier League after 23 years, despite taking over with them rock bottom of the Championship in September. If that's anything to go by, Premier League football might just be around the corner at Loftus Road. There's clearly potential at the club, with QPR being on the fringes of automatic promotion before form eventually fell off a cliff from February onwards. Now, some of the things that Aston Villa supporters may be unaware of and that QPR fans can expect from him, as per Beale's own admission on the coach's voice, are a clear vision on football where players and staff are on the same wavelength in terms of how they want to work, play the game, and achieve as a target come May. He'll first review whether the side are underdogs fighting relegation, a club fighting for silverware, or perhaps something in between. In QPR's case, the end goal is promotion, and thus recruitment and style of play have to be aligned with that. An appreciation of the culture, history, and current moment of the club, so he knows what fans have seen when they've been at their best and worst, as well as how they can reach the very top again. It's almost like being a supporter by understanding the entire context of the situation at hand, which is something that lots of managers aren't really bothered with in the modern day game. A tactical understanding of the game based on opposition, how you play in and out of possession versus a Man City as opposed to a Birmingham City, the expected transition between defense and attack, whether that's long balls or passing between the lines, and an element of tactical flexibility, which is something he feels is absolutely necessary to be unpredictable for opponents. A full review of current player qualities on an individual level and how they can best be utilized to fit into the wider qualities of the team as a whole. The best players on paper may thus not necessarily be the ones on the pitch, rather those that can best execute the game plan and raise the level of their fellow teammates. Principles of the side come first, people second, and system third. Therefore, he is clearly not going to be hell-bent on a particular formation. Focus on strong defensive organization, which will be the main aim as starters. Beale thinks this leads to less running, less stress, and more possession of the ball, which gives players clarity by keeping things reasonably simple, and in return, they're likely to get commitment to the cause. Once the wheels are truly in motion, a high-energy style of attacking play will ensue. Curiously, Beale believes the main focus should be on players enjoying themselves rather than on entertaining the crowd, as the former taking place will inevitably lead to the latter. He's clearly a very exciting young coach with a huge future in the game. He's only 41, which is the same age as some players like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. From Aston Villa's perspective, it's crucial to bring in someone with a very strong coaching background to compensate for this huge loss and support Gerrard so he can focus his attention on the areas which are his strong suit. From QPR's point of view, it's a chance to see if his reputation is worthy, because if that's the case, Premier League football is undoubtedly back on the menu. Please feel free to ask any questions, give your own thoughts and opinions. As an outsider looking in, I'm really interested to see what happens at Aston Villa now. Now, I'm fairly certain that Steven Gerrard was well aware of the fact that this man wanted to forge his own managerial career elsewhere, so he'll have someone in mind that he'll want to bring in. And obviously B, from QPR's perspective, whether or not he is cut out to be the main man leading a club forward. Cheers for watching, guys. This one took quite a bit of research because I was listening to about half a dozen podcasts, but it's helped me gain a lot of knowledge and appreciation of the situation at hand. Take care and have a great day.